Woo! Don't be scared. It's just me. Yeah. So, I hope everybody's having a good day. I have been. I have been getting things done. It's there's a lot to be said for feeling productive during your day. An awful lot, right? And with that comes a sense of purpose. But at the same time, it's got to go somewhere. So that's the challenge. Creatives got no problem creating. Facilitating that creativity, it's another thing entirely. So, figure out some of that. Last night we had the comic jam. It was super fun. Man, I wish you were there. Today's page is a palindrome. If you know what a palindrome is, you're going to have fun with today's page. We got somebody popping in. Hey, Dee Dee. How are you today? Corbin is fine. He's a happy young man. He's not entirely happy because the cats their diet has been switched, which means Corbin's not eating as much as we were feeding Corbin before. So he is probably going to be here making a lot of noise at some point. Hey, where's my food? Yeah. Okay, so yeah, today's cover is, thank you for asking, Didi. Today's page is Dugisi God. It's a palindrome. So if you want a moment of fun, write it down the way I just wrote it on a piece of paper, and then reverse the letters the way the letters are on that piece of paper. That's why you come here, for homework. Okay. This is a lot of fun. I'll switch to the other view in a second. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Jim Lujan. Hey, Jim, how you doing? Okay, I'll switch cameras. This is the finished. The original I drew 11 by 17 on why am I getting that crazy effect? Better. Better get a budget. So this is pencil crayon on 11 by 17. So this is yesterday's. Oh, there's my note. Yeah. So this is the finished page from yesterday, and feel good about that. Got a lot done in a short amount of time. Before I forget, this is a message from. I'm going to put this up. I'm putting in a little statement I heard earlier this morning from a person who may not have had enough sleep last night. And hey, words to live by. You know what I mean? There you go. Okay. Josh got up at I don't know, 3 o'clock this morning and started streaming. 3 o'clock this morning his time. No, 4 o'clock this morning his time, because it was 7 o'clock my time. And yeah, it's an interesting stream this morning. Why was I up at 7? I don't know that much, but why was Josh up at 4? threw his rhythm off doing a really long stream the day before. But if you get a chance, please go check out Josh Kimball's work. I really enjoy Josh's creativity. I really enjoy his storytelling all around, not just his writing and his but his art as well. And not just his art, but his writing as well. I like his art, writing art. So yeah, this is I have only X amount of copies left of this now, which is it's becoming a rarity at this point. I don't know why the place that I've had these at put a price tag on them. It's right there. This is the last so many copies of One Page Comic Extravaganza Volume 1. Now, I think many of the people that are following this stream have got or will get a copy of that sucker. So, and I don't mean like will get like you need to buy one. The world depends on it. I mean like copies are in the mail. So, yeah, things are going good. I've got another page done today off of the list, looking for a mark making instrument, and I picked the worst one. And so we've got some more fun ones in Fun in the Sun here. There's Some that are really specific, though, like Teletubbies or Power Rangers in their larval form. I think that's hilarious. But at the same time, I don't want to have to look up Teletubbies or Power Rangers. So, if you want to know how I go about choosing my page for each day, it's based on laziness. Yeah. Our art school fight where art students use supplies as weapons in an epic battle royale. That's coming up. Dee Dee says I should do a comic page that has anything to do with Corbin. Yeah, I could do that. Bicycles on roller coasters is a Scott Circlin suggestion. I don't think I've done a suggestion for Scott before. Do I want to draw bicycles today? Did I get my stickers yet? No, I didn't. You'll know because the day that, unless they come in tomorrow, because tomorrow I've got something else to work on. But Thursday, if they come in tomorrow or Thursday, I will be working on a page in camera for the with the stickers. I'm really excited about that. I'll be doing a 3-page prompt of Sushi Submarine Lemur when the stickers come in. So thank you for asking, Dee Dee, but no, not see Sushi Submarine Lemur. Thank you for asking, Dee Dee. Yeah, make comics, not war. The Kremlinator. That's our words to live by today, everybody. There's a few things that are more salient than a person who hasn't had enough sleep giving us all guidance to live by. What? 1-page idea, mosh pit jump ropers? Oh my god. It's getting written down. Jump ropers, no less. You know that I'm going to have to draw Mr. Roper from Three's Company, right? You do know that. Yeah, I like that idea a lot. You know what? Let's do it. I've had suggestible today. Why not? Let's do that one. I love Mr. Roper. So any excuse to draw Mr. Roper, I'm in. You know. Yeah, that's too fun. Okay, so today's suggestion is mosh pit, jump ropers. That's Luan. There he is, the master of the Luan verse. If you get a chance, do check out both Jim Luan's work, who's here visiting with us today, as well as Dee Dee Willingham's work. She does a fantastic stream Mondays and Wednesdays in the AM, and I enjoy them. I try to watch every one of them. It's some good folks. Okay, yeah, we're gonna draw mosh pit jump ropers, and in typical Christopher form, yeah, I'm probably gonna turn this a little bit sideways, but that's okay. That's kind of expected at this point, right? But we're going to shake it up. We're going to shake it up how we're going to do this. I'm going to try some things, and I have some things, and I want to try them. Yeah, I've got some of these Winsor Newton pigment markers that I picked up in Toronto when I was there. And thanks, Christopher. No, thank you, Dee Dee. Thank you for having a great stream that inspires a lot of people. Yeah, okay, so I've got some of these craft. What do they call them? Craft. Yeah, that's easy. Pens that have been kicking around, as well as I've got some these new feathers here that I picked up in Toronto. So let's draw Mr. Roper in pigment markers and see how that goes. Now, just for scuzz, I have for scuzz is my way of saying because I have a whole bunch of colored cardstocks and different, that's a paper bag clearly, that I have been putting together in 11 by 17 format to draw a number of, well, that's just blank paper. I'm kidding. And then I've got some of this graph paper that you see here. for me to draw a picatures on. I'm sorry if I'm figuring out which one I'm looking at right now because my one camera had burned out. Now I got to fix it again, and so it hadn't burned out. My connection got lost. So now I've got 2 green lights flashing at me, and I never know which one to look at. But I'm gonna stick with this one because you're unreliable. Not you, him. You know. All right. So yeah, I thought I'd draw today and this. Tomorrow is a special fun day. And why is that, Chris? Boy, am I glad you asked. Tomorrow's a special fun day because Chris, who is one of the people that joins us on the stream here, she teaches at a school in Mexico. And so tomorrow, her students will be joining us at 2 o'clock. I want everybody on their best behavior. That goes for me, too. All right, we're going to see how this works because I've never used these before. And why not? I'm going to try a couple different things. Yeah, I'm just testing out some stuff and seeing. See, this just feels like blah, blah marker. But these are kind of nice. So I'm just gathering up some mark making tools. All right. Yeah, lots of colors. I'll just push them over there. All right. So, Mr. Roper, mosh pit jump ropers. I like this a lot. I know what you meant. LOL, best behavior. I said I got to behave like that too. So I meant people jumping rope in the mosh pit. Oh, I hadn't considered that, Jim. Yeah, no, it's Mr. Roper. You can't say ropers without me going, come and knock on our door. I will send you a piece of art if whoever is watching this right now just went, take a step that is new. Because that's what living is, right? Okay. Got a couple little thumbnails. Let's just get cooking. Let's get cooking with the gasolines. I got the wrong end. Yeah, I love Three's Company, and I didn't get half of it, let's be honest, when it was on. But what do we got? Chrissy, Janet. You think of Janet. And Chrissy was replaced by Cindy. And, the Ropers, and then Mr. Come on, Mr. Furley. Or is it the other way around? It's Mr. Furley second. The Ropers first. So this is a lousy guy. All right, let's try this again. Oh, I don't know how that's turning. Yeah, it's turning out fine. My favorite is when Mr. Roper will stare at the camera and make it a dig. That's exactly what I'm drawing right now. Hi, Gary. Jim's got me drawing the Ropers. Told me I had to. He's like, you have to. I'm like, what? Please. There's, I don't know. There's just something about that show that I really liked. I never understood anything to do with Larry that lived upstairs. I never understood any of those references. I didn't get the whole, hey, let's go pick up some babes, Jack. I'm like, because I was all about just watching John Ritter fly over the back of the couch. So Gary says, Dee Dee, the brunette was Janet. Gary's first love was Janet from Three's Company? Really? Oh, the things we find out on the interwebs. Huh? Yeah, I'm sorry, this marker's filthy, and I'm really mad right now. Okay. You must see me do this much. So you know I'm really annoyed with a marker. We'll use that guy later. All right, back to it. So yeah, my favorite thing on Three's Company was when Mr. Roper would look at the camera and do that cheeky grin, and or I used to love it when Chrissy would go, "That's I'm a dork," and when Jack would of course go flying over the couch or whatever piece of furniture was kicking around. You know, those are the best moments of the world to me. What is this? Gary says, until Terry. Yeah, it goes Chrissy, Cindy, Terry. That's right. Forgot about Terry. And then you met Marianne on Gilligan's Island, left Janet abruptly. Janet, we had some good times. Yeah, the Regal Beagle. I knew a friend that was he was opening a bar downtown in London here, and he was debating names of his bar. As we're talking at the bar that I was working at the time, where he lived nearby, and he had seriously considered calling his bar the Regal Beagle. I really wish he had. Who are you? Yeah, let's try you. All right. The first part of these stupid pens that I got at Michael's is that putting them back putting the lid back on them. That is the worst. Who designed that? I didn't realize also that Mrs. Roper was wearing a muumuu at all times. I never picked up on that either. Judy's crush was Spock. For me, it was Mrs. Peel from the Avengers. That's right. My first crush as a child was a married woman. I didn't know. I was but a young innocent who thought it was really neat that lady could beat people up with judo. Bad judo. Televised judo. Oh, there we go. We're setting terms. Gary says, did you love Spock or did you want to run away with Spock? It's a good question, Judy. It's a good question. It's honesty time here. I'm trying to get comfy today. I didn't know about anything about running away with Mrs. Peel. But I sure wanted to be her teammate in the spy business. Also, I want to beat people up with an umbrella. Oh, I say, chap. Bad form, sir. Yeah, it's the best. If the one thing I always remember Mr. Roper doing, if you remember this or not, was what he would always constantly talk about Jack as, and he'd do this. I didn't get what that meant either. I watched that when it was on. I think I wanted to be Spock. Is it odd that Leonard Nimoy hosted In Search of, then later was in a movie called Search for Spock? Interesting. I love a good conspiracy. Does anybody realize that Ancient Aliens was first presented by Charlton Heston? Did anybody pick up on that weirdness? Didi loves a good conspiracy. Speaking of conspiracies, do read DVSM by Gary Hodges. I don't know who I wanted to be. Maybe Linda Carter's Wonder Woman bustier. I wanted to be the rope. No, because I'd mean I'd be around a gorilla and I'd be around a bunch of greasy bad guys. That's gross. That's why Genie Wishes, you got to be careful. You got to be careful about Genie Wishes. Hopefully it's going to make more sense than it's just this single tone image. Gilligan's Island was right next to Epstein's. I also wanted to be Race Bannon. Oh, excellent. That's excellent. Did you, Didi, I don't know if you've ever had the opportunity, but on Harvey Birdman, attorney at law, the first episode is all about the custody of Johnny and Haji. It's a custody battle between Professor Quest and Race Bannon. It's brilliantly fun. It is known if you look at my notes. Yeah, we'll get this fixed in a second. Whoops. Try to take the marker off here and put the marker on there. Doo-dah. Nope. I'm going to mark better which end is the sharp part. Chris got quiet. Oh, it's concentrating. Look at him concentrating. Huh? Look at that monkey go. that's starting to come. I just want to be Race. Race did seem to have it all together. I guess there were no cool girls. Daphne? Velma? What are you talking about? I see a link between Spock and Race. There you go. See, I read sci-fi and spy novels. Steve totally cornered. Mr. Spock wrote really good books up here. Oh, honey, what is all this? That would have been so good. That's right. I chose to do Mrs. Howell's impression over Mr. Howell. Listen, buddy. Oh, yeah. Because I'm macho. All right. Very dark. It's very bad. Yeah. I am making a mess of things here in the studio. But I'm still getting used to all this jazz. Yeah, it's very dark. Let's try it. Ooh, it's looking creepy like. How are you? Yeah, you'll do. I let the grandkids color with these things, and they're all bludgeon black and tips. And note to self, don't do that. But I had the grandkids with me last night at the Comic Jam. That was a fun experiment. That was one time. One time is rare. It was a little bit hands-on. It's a trick. The trick is finding the right, when you're using markers, you got to find the right combinations of color, because as soon as you put down one thing that's too dark, and depending on how well the paper takes the marker, then you're just sort of sunk, right? If Thelma and Daphne were cheesy, are you kidding me? Those girls proved amongst those kids that the worst villains of all out there aren't monsters or space aliens or demons or anything else, but they're humans. I should have grown up to become M. Yeah, Dee Dee Willingham is M. Yes. Didn't you suggest your latest DBSM to have one of the guards tell an alien up your nose with a rubber hose? At least name a guard Mel. As great a note as that was, Jim, I do my own material, sorry. Kiss my grits! Could have had it say that. Hey, Mr. Goddad, there's a bunch of kooky guys out in the hallway. Trying to get that little sparkle in his eye. The little, I don't know what, or as the French call it, I don't know what. I knew somebody that thought Marilyn Olsen was awesome. I was a kid. Oh my. Oh, awesome. Awesome. Oh, look forward to that. That's going to be awesome, Gary. Need to send some stickers to Jim. Yep. Yeah, I'm excited about stickers coming. Oh, I can't tell you. I'm going to put them in a page. Maybe not all of them. I'm going to keep one of them around in the studio at the very least. So hopefully this is starting to look like Mr. Roper. So I got some sort of intermediate. Yeah, you'll do. After talking to Josh Kimball this first thing this morning, I started listening to M5 and King Crimson and stuff this morning, so my head's a little bit blown out with too much musical intonation. What am I missing? A whole bunch of stuff. Maybe old movie monsters. Oh, yeah. Looking just like him, Christopher. Oh, thank you, Dee Dee. Yeah, that's my favorite. What? What do you mean, Jack? Is that? I thought about joining the Navy, Mr. Roper, and he'd say, "Oh, I'm sure you did think about being with all those seamen, Jack." Did he do that? Focus right in on the camera thing. Love it. Love it. That guy was a pervert. Let's see which one next. I'm still getting used to all these colors. What color are you? Well, I'm this color, Chris. Oh. They're the thing about these Winsor markers is that they're really, really dense. Like you can't. I don't know if that you can see this, but at the bottom of the page, I'm testing all the markers out, and the colors are really strong. Like they're just very, strong. Which is great because the white can actually go down, right? For a marker, the white actually works. What? So. What do we got? Yep. John Travolta is actually really great. Yeah, he really was. John Travolta was fantastic on Welcome Back, Kotter. The whole cast was great. He's kind of goofy. And in Kotter, he was Vinnie Barbarino. He's a bonehead. It's an absolute bonehead on that show. But I mean, it works so well. He's just a brilliant character. Epstein, Horshack, Washington, Barbarino, and of course Gabe Kaplan as Kotter, right? Just trying to get a hold of the whole big expression off the top, because an entire mosh pit full of ropers. It's going to be fun to draw. At least that's how I understood Jim's suggestion. You know, I got to get in. I got to get those ridiculous lapels. And always comes back to Epstein. Oh, yeah. I had the collector card set when I was watching that as a kid. And excuse me for my lateness, Mr. Carter, but my school bus got hijacked to Cuba. And I had no idea what that meant. Do you get the feeling that I didn't pay attention to the news as a child? Because I didn't. I'm trying to find it right. I gotta try different colors. I get my board, just be stuck with these ones. Yeah, see, that's a better one. It's those, you want to find those intermediate values, those. And I got a really limited selection of the Winsor Newtons, so it wasn't really giving me that, because they're so opaque when they come down. Every subtle mark I'm putting down on the paper, it's more challenging that way. But we'll get Mr. Roper down here. I don't think I've watched it since the original time. I saw a bunch of episodes like 10 years ago. And yeah. The Three's Company theme song, I memorized that when it was on. And you can imagine walking around the house singing that song to myself, and, you know, what in the world are you singing? What are you talking about? I also learned, boy, the way Glenn Miller played songs about the parade. So, yeah, yeah, both parts. That just lost me some friends. Anybody that does an Edith Bunker impression, unsolicited, yeah, I expect to lose friends. Yeah, they don't really hold up politically there. Although, if anybody wants to do a duet with me for All in the Family, I claim the Edith part. Oh my goodness, Dee Dee. I blame you on that one. So tomorrow, when Chris is going to be with her students here at 2:00. And the idea is that we're going to talk about creativity, like in your day, like daily creativity. And so I'll be anybody that's in the stream with me at the time. I'll be picking and gleaning from everybody else as well. So if you're interested in being a part of that process, please feel free to attend tomorrow at 2. I think it'll be fun. I think we're getting them. I'll turn the camera a little bit there. Sorry about that. Marianne is messing with Gary's mind. Christopher has the same habit I do of spinning his pencil while working to keep that good edge. Can't help it. Can't help it. It's a marker that I'm just still doing it. You know what I remember also from Three's Company was, what's the matter, Jack? You're not up to it? And Mr. Roper would say, and Mrs. Roper go, he wouldn't be the only one in the room, Stanley. It's just, so perfect. Jokes I also didn't get when I was watching that show. You don't realize how filthy a lot of those shows are until you're older. Gigantic lapels. Winsor Newton is on Jeffrey Epstein's list. Winsor I get. Newton I don't get. Officially, according to royal documents, he was not there. Hopefully, once I get his outfit drawn around him here and you can see the turn of the head, it'll make sense of his facial expression a little more. I just turned my pencil in my hand or my marker in my hand, Dee Dee. This doesn't even have a sharp edge and I still do it. How are those markers? These or these? The ones that I have here, the Sarasas or the Winsor Newtons? The Windsor ones. Yeah, they stink. No, they don't. The white actually works. Like the white actually works as a cover-up white for markers. That's crazy. But the opacity of the markers is really strong. But I recognize that they have a bleed edge, which means for those that they have a darker line around the exterior of some of the colors. When I test it out and do a mark, I see a rim. And, they were 50 cents each, but I wouldn't spend lots of money on whole sets of them. It might be why, because of how strong those colors are, and as its selling point, great. But the reality is that might be why they didn't do as well as they had hoped in the open market. So, like, watch, see the marker I put down here. The white can take it back a little bit. Like, it's kind of nice. One of my favorite artists is named Winsor. Well, this Winsor references we're doing here today. If you have not had an opportunity, please look at Winsor McCay's work. Is it sensitive for today's? No, but it's very much of its time. But at the same, it's incredibly creative work that he did. But we're talking about current comic pages from 1905, so there's some awkward beliefs there. But you just sort of got to just trust in the mark when you're working straight with marker without penciling it out first. You're sort of setting yourself up for potential disaster. The Sarasas I get at the dollar store. So, do they blend like Copics? No. No. Copic's more like a stainer. This is like an opaque. It's too much tooth, I find. There you go. I can mix a couple things up here. Let's see what we can figure out. Oh, the bleed through, yeah. I don't know. No, they don't. They don't bleed through. You're right. That's a really good way to test it out, right? Miss it. Looking great. What do you think of the drawing? Sorry. Thanks, Jim. Characters of awesome expressions. They do indeed. They do indeed, Gary. The engagement, the personality that comes through as those characters are talking to one another is fantastic. Another reason that anybody here that hasn't already should check out DVSM by Mr. Gary Hodges. I think it's coming together a little more as we go. I think as soon as I put those lines in, that started being his cheeky smile. It's that, how do you get the little pinch in the face there? So if you can imagine an entire concert of these guys in a mosh pit, you can see where I'm going with this. That made me laugh too much, that mosh pit of ropers. And as soon as my brain went sideways on, I'm like, yep, I'm in. I am trying through this huge book. To make your way through this huge book in the history of San Diego Comic-Con? Holy cow. That'd be an interesting read. It's called See You at San Diego. Yeah, San Diego is one of the first fan cons where kids that lived in the area would invite guys to come to talk about what they do. But those things were so cool. Like, have you ever read APAs? Do you guys know what APAs are? The history of APAs, Amateur Press Association, and basically they're fan magazines written by fans, and they started. APAs really took hold in the 60s, 70s, I think, but they originally started in the pulp era in the 1930s, I guess. No, I'm so sorry. I apologize. They would have started in the 40s, post-war, where, once paper had become far less of a limited supply. Initially, there was a lot of fan things in the 1920s, but it was mostly fans writing into publishing houses with their story ideas, and sometimes they would just get picked up as writers. But APAs was where you had fans writing total fictions and total, conversationals and little theses on what this means and the interaction of those characters and what that symbolism represents. Bonkers. And one of the biggest ones was for the really silly book that I've grown up loving my guts out of, The Legion of Superheroes, which Cosmic Boy and Lightning Lad and Saturn Girl, so you know what kind of sci-fi we're talking about. And, they keep trying to revitalize it and bring it back, and every time it's just progressively worse. But they still have a strong APA going on that I think they're on their 267th volume of it. Like, it's, that's a fan base. And there's a lot of gay fiction, gay literature about those comics as well. That community is really dialed into a lot of the characters in it. So much so that in 1989 through 1994, two of the APA writers were actually hired to write the book, and they could input a number of the APA ideas right into the book itself. And but it just freaked out the market. Like the market was like, you got openly gay characters and all these other things long before the hubbub and politic of tokenistic Marvel and DC of today. They had all that stuff happening in 89 through 94. We had gay characters, and one character ran out of pro-fem during a war and started reverting back to the original gender. Like, that's 89. And a lot of that's from APA literature. Yeah, I'm feeling good about Mr. Roper coming together. You know what I need? I need a grid. So I have a grid. Yep. Head over here, Sanchez. All right, so we've got our first Mr. Roper coming together. Today's suggestion is Mosh Pit Jump Ropers. I'm just going to be using a lot of Mr. Ropers for that. Jump Ropers. Yeah, I hope that book's good, Didi. I hope you enjoyed that. It sounds like a cool book. It is interesting looking at encyclopedia of interviews and photos. Hey, oh yeah, I saw this. Sorry, Gary. Forgive me for a little plug, but it'll be on Jason Alexander's Fogbreaker Studios channel tonight at 5 p.m. PST, talking about GVSM 1979. All are invited. Should be a fun talk. I'm going to leave this up for a moment. We can write down the times and. Judy says she's going to try to be there. Yeah, it sounds like a fun talk, Gary. I hope anybody that sees this video, whether it's live or whatever, gets a chance to go. check it out on the YouTubes. Excellent, excellent, Beauty. Okay, so I'm just going to finish up his lapel and his kit, and then I'm going to get into drawing the rock concert, punk rock concert, whatever kind of concert it's going to be. We'll see. Mosh pit. I'm going to find drawing in his lapel in a second. Excellent, excellent. Yeah, that Gary's book reads really well. He says I should reread them all by date. Oh yeah, yeah. It's changing. It's very different. It changes dramatically if you read them by date. But I understand why Gary put them out in the order he did. Hi, Philip. I am drawing Norman Fell. The suggestion for today is Mosh Pit Jump Ropers. I think you get two slightly different stories depending on whether you read them chronological or release order. Mr. Roper was played by Norman Fell. Lori said something interesting, and she's going to talk about your books on one of the upcoming streams. She said that, what was it we were talking about? If you read them, like the dramatic one of the stuff that happens in the second book, I get it. It sort of instigates all those action enthusiasts and grabs a hold of them and keeps them pulled in. But for those that just like the dialogue and the sort of dramatic X-File-y feel of it, you could do 1-3-2 like that, and builds to a crescendo of what happens at the end of the two. So it's really interesting how you can read those books in different orders. Yeah, definitely. Oh, thanks, Philip. First one was more standalone. Yeah, definitely. Well, maybe, actually, I think they all kind of are. If you just come across one of the three, you're like, whoa, okay, something's happened here. All right, that'll do. Talking to fans recently, I realized you could just start with 75 or 97. Both work as an entry point. 79 is a little hard to jump into, but it's possible. Oh, no, I'm sorry. I disagree with you. I know it's your books, but I still disagree with you. All three are pretty good entry points. I mean, for completely different reasons, but one and three reads like watching episodes of X-Files. Number two introduction makes it more like the British War of the Worlds. Okay, is that coming out? I think that's turning out. Get some of these tacky 1870s patterns on here. If you're focused on character, you can start with any. Trying to piece together the Dinosaur-Martian War. Yeah, definitely. The timing of the war, I had to think about the second one for a minute while reading. Yeah. I like drawing with just color. Good morning, Joshua. How are you? You're the quote of the day, Josh. Hold on, I'll pull it up. There it is. Here it comes. Make comics not war. The Crumblinator. Love it. That was a quote at 4:30 in the morning. This is very true. This is very true, Gary. You really do. All right, I'm going to switch over to put some blue in his hair, and then I'm going to switch, get into the next panel. What are we at? 111. Today's suggestion is mosh pit jump ropers. Which is why we've got Mr. Roper. Robert says, some of us are too young for that reference. Don't worry, Robert. I'm also going to have a jump rope reference. Everybody remembers jump rope. It doesn't mean we all did it. All right, I'll fill in the background later on this. Let's, well, here, let me do it fast. Let's get the... I'm missing stuff here. That's my first priority. Oh, yeah. Characterization's fantastic when you first start. Indeed, he says, Robert, how do you pronounce your last name? You can't actually say that to me. I don't know why you ask. It's just a really interesting name. What's the ethnicity of that? Like vet, like the people that poke cats. Don't say that too loud. I get Corbin to leave the room. The cats were doing. I'm gonna squeal on you. The cats were doing that cute thing when Corbin got home from the vet. Baby was all, what do you smell like? Where you been? What do you smell like? And then she stops and just starts giving them kisses. And we're like, you guys. And then she got mad and walked away. She just gave us this really indignant look like, mind your own business. This is personal. So I'm just putting in a little piece of the background. Doesn't have to be anything too fancy. Just a rough curtain pattern, just sort of grounding them in the scene. Figure why not, right? Yeah, Chris, why not? Can make all kinds of cheeky jokes in this page now that I think about it. I got Mr. Roper in it. What are you, too afraid to jump off the stage? Yeah, that's a whole bunch of things you can say. A bunch of chicky. I'm missing stuff. I'm a master at taking temperatures as well. Oh my gosh. Do we want to know what you do for a job, Robert? Robert, use the same explanation I always give. Bon vivant. Unless anybody wants to correct me right now, because I don't know what that means. So what do you do for a living, Runsman? Oh, I gallivant. Oh! Job? I have to keep up with Chris's content. Who has time for work? Go ahead, just say it, Robert. Put the pencil down, dummy. It's a marker. It's a marker. Researching his obscure content is a profession in its own right. Well, I guess someone has to do it. Like Three's Company? That's a blast from the past. The suggestion for today is mid mosh pit jump ropers. How could I not draw Mr. Roper? And if young people don't know who Mr. Roper is, well, it's about time they learned. What? Aren't they manly enough for it? All right, that's about done. So the idea for the next panel, let me just grab a piece of paper and I'll just lay it out loud. It's apparently a much more difficult operation. I thought it would be to get a piece of paper. All right, so if the page is called Mosh Pit Jump Ropers, and I've got the first panel is here, and I can put the title right below. Okay, so my idea is to have some characters got ready. And then, so the whole plan for here is for me to draw nonstop amounts of Mr. Ropers. So but they're going to go into the show. So that might be them lined up. And then, like lined up for the concert, trying to get into the club. And it'll be the big Mr. Roper. It's I draw a picture of Mr. Roper fixing his hair in a mirror. And then here they are going to line up for the show. And then there's the band. Also Mr. Ropers. Maybe. We'll see. Maybe no means no. And then I thought what I'd do is I'd have a guy standing here holding a rope, and around him is some of his friends up here in the high wire holding another rope. And so off he goes and swings out over top of the show. Right into the mosh pit. So here's the mosh pit going. It's nice and complicated, right? And just dancing. A bunch of mosh pit ropers. That's my madness. I had to have an argument recently with someone who claimed Iron Maiden was at heavy metal. You punch that person. You punch that person. And you say to them, no. Not heavy metal. What the world? They're very definitely heavy metal. They're just more progressive in their lyrics and stuff. Depends, right? There's a whole bunch of those guys that sort of change courses a little bit. But if you can count Black Sabbath, Iron Maiden, Judas Priest, and all in the same category, there's a lot of differences with those guys. So, yeah, they're heavy metal. By today's standards, no. Partially because you can understand it. Okay, so mosh pit jump ropers. So the next image is going to be, I need to get Stanley ready in the mirror. Do I keep doing it in marker or do I switch? If we're going to keep going the way I'm going, I started coming across these music reaction vids, younger people watching older music vids. I was truly surprised at how they didn't know so many bands. It's sad. It's sad, but yeah, a lot of these young music aficionados have no idea. We've got a guy who's collecting all kinds of vinyl, and the vinyl stuff that he was referring to is it's all classic. It's the 80s and 90s. Like, yeah. Okay, so yeah, I think I'll get a couple more ropers in here before we'll wrap it up. The gist was that they don't scream, I think, and I can't punch them. I'm a pacifist. I swatted the nose of the newspaper and hissed, as one would do. You could also do the raised leg and tinkle. That works too. Yeah, it's just general, and the music industry is so pervasive today, and how it, I mean, it markets itself really well, but at the same time, um, you've got a generation that's ignorant too. They have no idea where a lot of the music they listen to comes from, as in so much of this is sampled, right? And they have no idea. They just have no idea that none of that's original. I knew somebody that was a big fan of a lot of the contemporary music that had no idea who James Brown was. So, Iron Maiden, you got a light. Water pistol works a treat. Damon, I'm back to being a vet. So tomorrow's stream, for those that are joining later, at 2:00, you're all very welcome to come on out, as per usual. But there'll be a class from, I can't remember if it's college or university in Mexico, will be on the stream here as well. And we're going to be talking about creativity in your day-to-day, daily creativity, daily expression, benefits thereof, as we do the stream. So I'm going to do a little talk about some of the stuff I've been up to, and then we're going to open it up to open conversations and questions. So you guys are all very much welcome to be a part of things. Just don't scar the young minds. Just don't scar them much. Cues. Oh, I have so many questions. You can ask some now. Why? Chris, just why? My first question for you, Chris, is why? Secondly, does it hurt? Third, isn't that illegal? And fourth, do you think that's a good idea? Now, once we got those covered, we're pretty open. That's 2 Norman Fells. Because it's not the main one, I'm being a little more loosey-goosey with the color. Now, do we have a suggested certification? I mean, PG, like 15 restricted? I think to college and university. Are you an old friend of Christopher's, Robert? Like Chex Mix. That's Mountain. That's Salty Snacks. Those are the names that are listed until Salty. I think he's going to answer. If he doesn't answer, I'll answer yes. Yeah, he is. Don't scare him off, Didi. Like, Call him my friend? He might not know yet. I ain't answering that. That's what he's saying. I ain't telling. I'm just wax. I'm only on your planet visiting for but a short while. Oh, look at that. That's sweet. I'm genuinely blushing. Hey. So here's my first getting ready in the mirror. Mr. Roper. Getting all set up in their blazer sets. Comment like that sort of gives you your answer too, though, doesn't it? Cheeky response. Yeah, he's got no charisma, no cheekiness. You know what? Until Dee Dee mentioned this earlier in the stream, I've never noticed how much I do this. But yeah, I do. I turn the pen around all the time because I'm so used to doing it with a pencil to keep that sharp edge that I'm doing it with a marker. I'd really never noticed that until you just pointed it out. I'm going to be really self-conscious of it. See, did you? So there's our first cheeky. Yep, spinning, always spinning. All right. So there's our first one in the mirror. I want to do I'm trying to think about how I can do this. I can have his back as he's looking in the mirror. Let's do that. So I'm going to come up with the back of his outfit here. Especially color pencils. Yeah, spin it. It works. It works great. Keeps the pencil sharp, especially pencil crayons. I call them pencil crayons, yeah. Color pencils to Americans, is that what it is? Oh, Robert says, I do like that kids are watching older music, though. I'm not old enough to disdain new music. There's some great stuff, just not usually mainstream. The internet is open to some great stuff. That's true. Yeah, Data agrees. That's true, Robert. Yeah, I wish that we could get more young people to be able to discern some music that's just sort of foundational, but I think that's a challenging thing. They need to be exposed to it first, and the mainstream media is definitely not doing that. So So here's his fingers peeking through from under his other. I don't know if that's going to make sense to folks, but there it is. I'm going to spell my name this way from now on, though, Didi. I like that. It takes time to fall off the fashion wagon. Geez, I used to look like Madonna. I used to like Madonna. I used to look like Madonna. Sorry. Look up Polo Reacts. He's a good one. Is that right? Isn't that something? Polo Reacts. I'll just write it down. There's an actual composer reacts to, and so he's probably in his 30s or 40s, and so he's reacting to a lot of 70s music that he might, that he's somewhat aware of, but he didn't really have the opportunity growing up to sit down and listen to the complexity of it because he was largely training to could be a composer. And so hearing him listening to Yes or Pink Floyd, or it's just fantastic how mind-blowing that is to him. I've seen him do a few different videos now of one for Yes, one for Pink Floyd. I think I saw one for King Crimson. Something else. Your voice coaches, all types. Oh yeah. But it's interesting, to think of. We're so fortunate to have so much great music to grow up with. Yeah, well, it's a mess, but yeah, I don't know what I'm doing. Trying to put the profile on the face. That's why it didn't work. I wouldn't see it in anyways. I follow an opera singer who does the same with rock music. Nice. Yeah. I think I've seen. I haven't seen an opera singer. I'll have to check that one out. And my wife and I listen to KABL and KUSC, both out of California. And KABL is all different eras of music. It's a I think it's a San Francisco or San Diego. Yeah, San Francisco station. And then KUSC is all classical music. It's usually what we have playing in the house here. And I can't tell you the interesting thing that happens, like, because the grandkids are exposed to all that. I actually caught one of them whistling, and I don't know if they realize, that they were whistling Mozart, but they were. The one of the grandkids picked up on the fact that our washer and dryer, they play a little line from Brahms to tell you that the load is done. Just silly. But they picked up on that because they heard it upstairs. That sounds like the classical music, Grandpa. Yes! Povo did the live of Fuck Homes concert in the air tonight and no drums until they hit them. Oh, cool. That's very cool. When I was young, my father used to listen to Capital Gold music in the 60s and 70s and the 80s, and so it was so old. Now kids are listening to music from the 80s and it's 40 years old. See, I grew up on really old Ray Charles and things like that, so you should do a reaction vid of that, Robert. I'm gonna put some details from a bathroom in behind him. There we go. So now I get to draw a bunch of Mr. Ropers in the line at the club. Reaction vids and Mandalorian helmets are wasted, sadly. It's the way. It's the way to do it. This is the way. This is the way. You could just do that, sit in a helmet, playing some classic music, and all it'll be is, this is the way to listen to this. This is the way. Robert Fett listens to different music with different helmets on, weekly. Catch him Sundays. Different hats. It'd be fun. I'd watch that. Needs more green. Needs more green, man. What are you doing? Oh, no. So this is the line waiting to get in the club of Mr. Ropers. Gotta get those big lapels in there. Okay. Needs work green. Needs work. Really nice drawing today, Christopher. Thank you, Deeds. Thank you very much, Didi. I appreciate it so much. I'll see you later on. For I think Gary's interview. I'll put that up before we go. For Mando's, orange is the color of sheer soybeans. Lust for life. Get in, Mr. Chris. All right. Let me pull something up from earlier on. Just give me 1 second, gang. Oh, here we are. Gary Hodges, who's our good friend, who's written and illustrated the series DVSM. He's on issue 3, just came out. I highly recommend it if you're a fan of sci-fi. DVSM, 1975, 1997, 1979. Dinosaurs versus Marsbot will be on Jason Alexander's Fogbreaker Studio channel tonight at 5 p.m. talking about 1979, his new book. So if you haven't, I'll leave that up for a moment if anybody needs to write it down if they want to check it out. 5 p.m. PST is 8 p.m. EST for those that need to know. But yeah, I highly recommend Gary's books. We've been reading them here at the house, Laurie and I, and we really enjoy them. Very much like the X-Files. So if you're able to get a chance to see that, 5 p.m. PST on Fogbreaker Studios on YouTube. And Robert's all full of lust. That's other context, but you know. I realize now I could have put the whole picture of him going like this in the front of this lion, like this is him trying to bribe the doorman. Well, you know, you learn. And then I'm going to put another one of them behind him in the line. I've got a whole bunch of Mr. Ropers here. Excuse me. So 5 p.m. our time. No, it's 8 p.m. our time. PST, Pacific Standard. We are Eastern Standard. So here in Ontario. So excuse me. Cup of tea. Lovely. All right. I'll finish this one up. And so tomorrow, if anybody that's still here is available to come by and join in the stream, we'll talk about creative process and what it is to work daily on stuff and how that helps and aids in your day-to-day. And because sometimes as creatives, people need to get it out of the system. What time our time? 8 p.m. our time. It's 3 hours difference between the coasts. Well, between the coast and here. Today. Same day. That's 8 p.m. tonight. So I think it's tonight. Put him in his plaid house coat. It's because it's fine. Oh, my class is tomorrow. Tomorrow at 2. 2 o'clock our time. 2 o'clock EST. That's 2 o'clock tomorrow. Here on the stream, we're going to talk about creativity in your daily life. I think I might run a slideshow in the background as I'm talking. Well. Hi, Rachel. Rachel, today's suggestion is mosh pit jump ropers. So because that's the suggestion today, I'm drawing a whole bunch of Mr. Ropers at a punk concert, and they're going to be jumping off the stage into the mosh pit. Yeah. You know, for the relevance. I'm very relevant. But yeah, this is a fun one. But we're almost at 2 hours. And so we'll start wrapping up here. Yeah, okay. So Gary's got his interview tonight at 8 o'clock on... I'm so sorry. I can't remember. Are there carrying canes and walkers? No, they're diving off a mosh pit stage. So yeah, Gary's got his interview tonight, and people are able to get a chance. I put it up a couple times during the course of the stream, so take a look for that. Write down the information from there. And tomorrow at 2 o'clock, I will be streaming as normal, but we're also going to be talking to a number of university students in their class in Mexico. So if you're interested in taking part in a conversation about daily creativity, please come in and join. Otherwise, you know, I'm going to be going for a couple hours anyways. But yeah, the first half hour I'll be talking about what I do and showing some examples on the screen there, and of the pages that we've been doing since January 1st, and then we're going to open it up to questions. But in opening up the questions, I think that if people want to throw in some input as well, they're always very welcome to do so. Rachel says, I'm really looking forward to seeing you as normal. This is normal. This is like all the time. This is how I am. Yeah, isn't that right, Billy? My name's not Billy. Like, there's nothing I could do to help this. Anyhow. All right, so with that, I'm going to sign off for the day. Thank you for everybody that's come and hung out with me. It's been a lot of fun, as usual. And I really appreciate everybody coming out. And if you like to promote and talk about the stuff that you're doing and stuff like that, people are always welcome to do so in the comments for the YouTube stream here, as well as on my other social media. If you want to come and show us what you're doing or talk about what you're doing as well, or if you've got streams or things coming up and you want people to attend, please feel free to put that contact information in those posts. So other than that, I will be back tomorrow at 2:00 with a lot of hungry minds that we're going to have conversation with. So it's going to be a lot of fun. In the meantime, keep creating. I look forward to seeing what you're working on. This has been a lot of fun for me. So tomorrow I will be posting the page for the Mosh Pit Jump Ropers. Yeah, that's with CK. Yeah, it is with Chris Cluey down in Mexico. So it'll be a lot of fun. Okay. In the meantime, everybody, thank you very much for today. And I'll see you tomorrow. Bye for now.